So what if I were to tell you that hiring that local PT in your gym could be stopping you from seeing that body transformation that you want to see? And how you very much could be suffering from this specific little syndrome that keeps you feeling stuck with that skinny fat body and not liking what you see in the mirror. And ultimately it's stopping you from building that lean and jacked physique that you really want to build. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what that syndrome is, why you need to abandon your personal trainer, and what you should be doing instead to go from skinny fat to lean, jacked and back in shape. So here it is. Right, this is coming from a guy that has been a gym personal trainer for over 10 years. And only in the last couple of years have I transitioned into the online coaching space. So with over 10 years experience in the gym, I think you can agree I have a fair idea of the kind of pitfalls and problems and traps that a lot of guys fall into when they're trying to get back in shape and see changes to their physique. So typically, what do a lot of guys say when they're trying to get back in shape? I need that kick up the arse. I need that push again. I need to try and find that motivation. And I get that, because support and accountability is very, very important for most men who are trying to make changes to their physical transformation. They need that kickstart, they need that push, and trying to do it by yourself for 80-90% of blokes is a big mistake. Don't get me wrong, some guys can put a plan together and see it through with a lot of grit and determination, but I'm gonna be honest, most guys can't. The reason why you're watching these videos, there's a reason why maybe you're struggling to develop that skinny fat body into something that you're a little bit more proud of. It's probably because you've been trying to do it all yourself. The sooner you accept that you need some proper coaching, the faster you're going to see some big changes. But that's not the point of this video. It is a very good point. So a lot of guys, they'll hire their local PT in their gym, they'll book like a block of 10 sessions and they'll start getting beasted by them like once or twice a week. So what do most PTs do? They take you around the gym, they take you around various exercises, you know, squats, your bench press, your machines, your cables. They say, all right, do this, I fix your form. They say, all right, shoulders back, chest up, whatever. Count your reps, push you hard, make sure you're hitting a high level of intensity. Some of them are complete idiots and they just want to like smash you on legs day one so that you're not walking the next day, because they're like these weird sadistic motherfuckers who don't really know how to kickstart an enjoyable journey for you. But anyway, so that's the path you go down. So when you're in the gym with them, you feel on top of the world. You feel like, I'm doing some really, really good, highly effective shit. Hopefully you've got yourself a semi-competent PT who does take you through a good training session. But here's the syndrome that a lot of guys who rely on gym personal trainers develop over time. It's something I like to call handholder syndrome. So you suffer from being a handholder. So don't get me wrong, if you're very new to the gym environment, in your first, 2-3 months, it's good to get a bit of face-to-face coaching in a gym to make you more comfortable, to make sure that you can at least do the basic movements and you're not going to hurt yourself in the gym, and you get yourself established into a little bit of a better routine than, a lot of guys will just start like fucking running on a treadmill and then doing some crunches in the corner. The very beginning, for a lot of novices, that first couple of months with a PT is probably a good idea. But after that point, you develop that handholder syndrome. So what I mean by that is you just end up relying on having your hand held around the gym by your trainer. You start to outsource any kind of thinking, thought process, responsibility, any kind of implementation, you outsource it to the PT. My time is with them now, they're gonna handle my workout, and you kind of switch off and you just go through the motions and you push yourself. But again, this isn't everyone, it's a lot of people though. It's a lot of guys. They end up not learning shit. What they're doing, why they're doing, how to do it optimally. So if those PT sessions were taken away from you, you'd end up being a bit fucked. And it happened all the time. Like if I would go off on holiday for a week or two, like my clients who were solely relying on seeing me 2-3 days a week, they'd end up not fucking going to the gym by themselves in that 1-2 weeks. Because I had my PT program and because they were a client of mine, I'd be like, no worries, well, you know, they sort of rely on me, so they're gonna come back and we're gonna kickstart things up again and they're gonna be fine. But it's not helping you on your long-term transformation, because at some point, you need to learn how to do shit by yourself. To start learning about, you know, your programming, your push and pull workouts, like why you're doing what you're doing, what you need to substitute certain exercises for if something's not available, how to make sure that your form and technique doesn't break down when you're pushing yourself hard by yourself. Because even if you're seeing a PT once a week, like they'll correct your technique and form and everything like that, like during the session, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're doing everything right by yourself. And if you're trying to train 3 or 4 days a week and typically you'll see a trainer once or twice, then there is another like couple of sessions that you are implementing yourself, and chances are you're not doing things correctly in your own time. Most PTs out there, they don't take care of your time outside of their time together with you, and not necessarily coaching you outside of those sessions in your workouts that you're supposed to do by yourself, let alone, you know, most PTs don't really do much about the nutrition side, to be honest with you. Some do, but there's a lot of guys out there who just beast you like once or twice a week, but they don't really take care of the other 160 something hours of the week that you're not with them, which is probably overall way more important than those few workouts. So when you develop this handholder syndrome, you probably have noticed that you might have that sort of quick transformation. You might sort of shred up for 6-8 weeks if you go a bit hardcore with your trainer for like a blocked amount of time. But then when that's taken away from you, when work gets a bit too distracting or family life or whatever, and you have to take a bit of break, things fall apart. You're in shape for a bit and then you lose it and you're back on, back off, back on, back off. That's not how you develop a long-term permanent physical transformation. That's not how you take care of yourself for good. The whole point of my coaching programs now is to help you develop a long-term permanent transformation so that you know how to handle shit for not just a couple of months or 8 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever. You can handle shit for years. You learn how to stay in shape. You learn how to go through all the shredding phases, maintenance, building phases. You learn how all that works and you learn how to self-implement. That's why, to be honest with you, after your first 2 or 3 months in the gym, once you learn how to do the basics, it's much better, it's in your interest, if you're looking to make long-term permanent changes and actually gain control of your physique, it's much better to move forward into online coaching. I'm not just saying that because I'm an online coach now, I'm saying it as someone who has been a PT for well over 10 years, been an online coach now, like solely online coaching for like 1.5 to 2 years, and there was a little time in the middle where I was doing a bit of both. And my online coaching clients always got better results than my physical face-to-face PT clients. And I used to wonder why that was. I was like, I'm seeing these motherfuckers like 2 or 3 days a week. How are they not performing and seeing that transformation compared to the guys that I'm not seeing physically, I'm coaching remotely? Because even though I was setting them up with nutrition planning and everything like that and tailoring things and getting them to follow programs outside of our time together, you cannot help subconsciously, these PT clients, they cannot help but develop a bit of that handholder syndrome and start to delegate and outsource responsibility and motivation and self-discipline to when they're just on in their sessions with you as a PT. It's probably the trap and the syndrome that you may also be falling into yourself. Whereas on my online coaching program, my clients from the very get-go learn to self-implement and do things in their own time, to work it around their schedule themselves, to communicate and check in with me as a more of an overview summary of their whole week, and I give them weekly focus and targets and feedback on the week prior and the week ahead, and they learn to do things themselves. They learn how to make tweaks and adjustments and things in their own time and around their own plan and meal habits and things like that under my guidance and coaching and programming. But I don't do it all for them. I'm not just dragging them around the gym, taking them through the sessions, making sure they're doing it. No, they are sending me videos for feedback. They're learning how to make the tweaks and adjustments themselves. Those are my clients who make those long-term transformations and never end up fucking it up again and coming back to me like a couple of years later like, oh, I fucked it. No, they get lean and jacked for good, they maintain their physique, they learn how to handle it like around all their years, cycles around all the shit that they got going on, and it's never a stop-start journey for those guys again. Anyway, hopefully you found this insightful, hopefully you found it helpful. Give me a like and subscribe if you did. Any comments, any questions that you have, feel free to comment below. If you want something free to follow, if you don't really have much of an efficient program yourself, then I'll leave in the description below my free coaching program to help teach you the self-implementation process, but also give you something step by step to follow in your first 4 weeks. Hope you found it helpful. Catch you later.